Osun Spring Television. Ours it is.
Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, world. It is Morning Spring on Western Spring Television here, where we say and we converse in very deep topics and, that matters to the generality of the people. Issues of public importance. That's what we do in here every weekday, Mondays through Fridays. Femi is my name, and I welcome you to today's program. We're on channel 190, DTT and Star Times, and also on Facebook, on Instagram, and also on X. You can see us right now when you follow us on our YouTube page at Western Spring Television. Rise and shine once again. Good morning, Evelyn. Good morning.
Good morning, Femi. How do you do today?
Very
Good
well.
morning, people. Welcome. It is Monday, and of course, the adrenaline is pumping. It's pumping so high, the energy so high, because we are ready to take on the week.
That's right.
And remember, today is the first day of the best days of the rest of your life, so make it count. My name is Evelyn Ohiolei. Thank you sincerely for adding us to your morning routine. Every weekday, we appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, because we're only doing this knowing fully well that you are there with us. And, on the program, we look at the headlines. These are stories and, tidbits are seen in our major dailies. And the other side of that, we then get talking. But quickly, it's a good news over the weekend. Sort of a good news, by the way, where we learned students and pupils that were abducted in Kaduna State have been recovered somewhere in Zamfara State. 137 of them. When you see the picture and video, you could see distraught and distressed young people, both male and females. But the good news is they are back, taken away from Kaduna, recovered from Zamfara.
And the better news is that no one is missing. All children have been brought back to their parents. So it's good news for the families. I mean, this is what Nigerians have been praying for and hoping for and calling on the government to do. And we are thankful to God that these children are back home to the warm embrace of their parents. But then people are asking questions. Nigerians will continually to ask questions. What's up with the abductors? We heard that they was it rescued or released. Nigerians want to know whether rescued or whether released. Was any ransom paid? Because we do not know if there was it was a kinetic solution to this one, whether it was through the use of force. And what is the situation or negotiation? What is the situation in the den of the abductors at this time? Because these are criminals, and we want to know what is it with them. Are they going to be reined in? Were they reined in? Was it negotiation? I mean, these are questions and conversations that we should ask at this. We should have, and we should also ask at this time.
That's very right. And one question I'd like to ask is, it sounds a bit sensitive, but knowing your antecedents and knowing what is happening right now that we don't even have any news about the abductors, either they were neutralized, just like you rightly said. The question is, what next and where's next? We're not envisaging, we are not praying for that. But then, you can never know. But then we pray that others in abductors, then kudos to whoever, either the security agency, negotiators, parents, government that are interested or that have facilitated these. But the better part is, let these things be prevented. They shouldn't even be weeks away at all. And before we go to the headlines, it would be unfair if we don't talk about the heroics of the Nigerian contingent in Ghana at the African Games. The athletes, did well. At the end of the day, on the medals table, they returned second behind the leaders, Egypt, especially in athletics. They were super in boxing. They were super in different categories. The only thing that pinned me was our girls losing to Ghana in the final of the football. But then for Tobia Muson, for many guys that were just discovered, kudos to them.
Yeah, a very big congratulations to the Nigeria
video of that
team.
relay race, 4x1, 4x2, both male
Yes.
and female, have went viral.
It's
And
been
these
amazing
guys
with
did
these
well.
guys.
Extremely
You know,
well.
120 medals in total. It's not easy, and this also speaks to the Nigeria energy when it comes
Yeah.
to sports.
They can
You know, we
boost
put
very
in everything. Like you said, the only thing the Nigerians are in cool with, maybe because of the long time rivalry between Nigeria and Ghana, was the fact that our girls lost to the
Ghana.
Ghanaian girls.
Nigerians wouldn't have had issue if actually you have lost to Tunisia or Cameroon.
I
It
think
shouldn't have been
our
Ghana.
guys kind of matched it up when at our friendlies we won against
They're facing them 2-1.
the Ghanaian guys. So it's still, they say Ojoro cancel Ojoro in Nigeria parlance. But then congratulations to the Nigerian team.
They did well. And I hope they are compensated when they return. It should not just be, especially the athletes, the pugilists, you know, everybody that has done well. It should not just be the big gift coming to only the footballers. Every sport categories, they are really done well. We'll go on this break. When we'll come back, we see what the papers say. It's the Morning Spring on Western Spring Television. Don't go nowhere. All right, the papers are here and we are raring to go. By the way, Ladeji is here. Ladeji Alabi. Salam alaikum, Egina.
Walaikum salam. I don't know why you have to take me. Good morning, Femi. Good morning, Evelyn.
All right.
It's a pleasure to be here today.
It's so nice to have you on board, Alaji.
I don't know what to do with
I'm
you
sure
with
you
all
like the
these
sound
titles.
of that.
All right. Thank you for joining us.
It's
We
always
start
a
from the
pleasure.
Vanguard today, the Vanguard newspaper. Very quickly, Niger Delta leaders, stakeholders, the federal government, pull army out of Okwama, other Delta Bayelsa communities. Riders to relieve tense situation in the oil region want whoever killed or stole arms, ammunition from from soldiers to quickly return them. Army urges. Okay, I'd like to take that right again. Want whoever killed or stole arms and ammunition from soldiers to quickly return them. Really. Army urges cooperation of communities to recover stolen rifles. As Urobo youths appeal against OD experience in Okwama. Ijo Youth Council denies alleged plans to attack military facilities and locations. And Horo Forest ambush. Delta police nab 3 suspected killers of officers. That can be found in page 12. And by the way, it was a sad moment again when some pictures were released of some slain police officers, again, that were ambushed and killed. This is one too many. By the way, these are humans. Apart from their military, uniform guys, they are humans as you and I, and that is reprehensible. It's not good at all. Kano Governor Dangote distribute rice in Kano. That's a picture of the son of the soul there, Dangote, and then the governor, Mr. Abagida, the governor of, that's Abakabi Yusuf, governor of Kano State. By the way, last week there was a video shown which the governor was seen complaining bitterly about some food palliative package. And they think whatever is called a package, you know, it's not even a handful, tied in one funny, unfortunate, and God-forsaken nylon, you know. And the governor was angry that, who are the ones handling these? Is this what we gave him money for? There is a budget for these. Is this what, you know, and the governor was very angry. But now the governor and Mr. Dangote are here doing, you know, the Lord's work. Moving on, manufacturers' forex losses rise 566% to 792 billion naira. Respite underway as Nigeria strengthens. Appoint foreign coach face lawsuit that's coming from Muyema. You know why? Peter the one has that. Serap to Tinubu emulate OT. Obey court judgment, stop pensions to ex-governors. Kano governor hails Dangote and palliatives to residents due to hunger, and how 137 Kuriga school children teachers were rescued. Defense headquarters in Benue, we had more ghost schools workers than real ones. It's not even ghost workers now, ghost schools. Interesting. Edoguba, INEC ends nomination of candidates to unveil list today. All right. And I think many things to really talk about, but let me take Ladeji on here. Pull army out of Okoma, other Delta Bayelsa communities. That's the story on the front page of the Vanguard.
Well, we were struggling with this news over the week, last week, and another news broke out yesterday, or was it Saturday, that some police officers were also slain in Delta State.
Yeah.
I think, first off, we need to also maybe raise the condemnation of this terrible act. Aside the fact that these people are there to protect lives and properties of the people, they are humans too.
Yeah.
They have family members that look up to them. Many of them are the breadwinners of their families. You don't make wife lose their husband like that. You don't make children lose their fathers like that. So people also need to have a sense of humanity, see these people as one of us too. Police, immigration, customs, soldiers, they are part of us. They are part of the, as a matter of fact, while you and I are busy sleeping on our bed, yes, every other person have their contributions to the society, but
right.
They also, you know, in the terrible of the conditions, harmattan, rain, you know, whatever, they are out there looking out for all of us. So we need to also have a sense of human and, you know, protect them too. But that aside, I think at this rate, the federal government just need to, you know, and the state government now need to put every support they need to do. Because it doesn't look like the military want to hear from anybody now.
The Equama situation.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
They want to by all costs, because we understand also that those guys went away with rifles, and these are rifles that has the name of Nigerian government on them. So they apparently want to get them, retrieve them back. So I think in the best interest of those communities, the state governments, traditional rulers, every well-meaning indigents of those places need to just support the military, support security agencies, fish out these bad guys. That's just what I would say about it.
But the communities are saying, please tell them to stand down. The siege is too much. Nothing is happening. People are hungry. And the community has even asked, the Niger Delta leaders have asked whoever killed or stole arms, ammunition, quickly return it.
The issue is with them.
Maybe they feel if the military will have those weapons back, maybe they can stand down. But the military are saying, without having these things back,
that's why I said, Femi, if also, because many of these guys are locals too, irrespective of the kind of the name you want to tag them, militants, whatever, some of them will be locals too. So that's why I mentioned that the community people, if you know their hideout too, if you have any reasonable information, because now it is a few guys that committed the offense. Yeah. It is you, the generality of the people, that are suffering from this.
Not just Okwama, every adjoining community, from
so,
Delta to Bayelsa.
So why don't you just, you know, do the needful? If there is anything you can do to support,
all right,
please say it out.
That's what the Vanguard has for us this morning.
Let's check through the Daily Independent newspaper this morning. The front page. After Kaduna students release, Tinubu vows to make schools safe. Afenifere, Pandev, MBF, Lord's government, security agencies, others ask FG to apply same strategy for other victims. Police confirm 4 women dead in Bauchi Zakat collection stampede. That's on page 7 of Daily Independent newspaper. We are having one too many of the stampedes. The other day it was a student, I guess, in Nasarawa State. 2 female students that died in a stampede. The other day it was in Lagos. We need to actually ensure to look into this critically. Airport security audit. Nigeria's performance is with huge success. ICAO team leader says Tinubu turned 72 on March 29. Asks Nigerians to skip celebration over mood of the nation. That's on page 6, and if we can remember, this has been on since the year 2022. Yes, 2022. The president has always been, canceling the celebration of his birthdays, and this year He has told in the same line, Nasu Sanu and 7-day warning strike say work resumes today. Unknown gunmen kidnapped 10 artisans in Benue. The Patriots meets declaration for new constitution to Tinubu NAS. Bottom strip in red. No plan by Ijo youths to attack military facilities, says INC. Top corner, Daily Independent newspaper, front page. Emulate OT, stop pensions to ex-governor. Sarah tells Tinubu.
Yeah.
NIMET harps on effective early warning system to boost food security in Nigeria. Ladiji Alabi, let's go to Kaduna State. The students have been released. I mean, this has been the calls from many Nigerians in the past 2 weeks, and now we have the students back to the warm embrace of their parents, and the president has also vowed to keep the schools safe. Your thoughts?
Yeah, well, it's a good development, a welcome development, if you ask me, Evelyn. The fact that we have all the children back now, all the students back, it's really a good one for me. Don't forget, we've had issues in Kankara, in some other places where they released a few ones, still holding back to a couple of other guys. Top of that, you will remember Leah Sharibu. She is still in the custody of our doctors. But the good thing is that these guys have been released, irrespective of whatever situation. Some people have been saying maybe government. I care less about if government paid ransom, if they do not pay ransom. All that is important to me is that the children are back to their parents. It's such a terrible thing for a parent to go through. You don't know if your child is alive or not, and you are not sure of when he's coming home, but now they have their children back in their warm hands. I think kudos to whoever is involved in this. But beyond this, we need to be proactive rather than being reactive. We need to secure our school because the ripple effect of stuff like this is that it sends fear into minds of parents and students. Who knows which school they are coming to attack? And we are fighting the issue of out of school children.
Yes.
So how do we curtail that? Is when we provide adequate security to our school and ultimately fight this insecurity of the teen outrightly and make sure that our schools are secured. Primary, secondary, tertiary schools, even other places, let them be secure so that people can operate freely in the country called Nigeria, and we can have a better place for ourselves.
Are you concerned about what's the situation in of the abductors at this time? People have been asking questions. Were they killed? Were they neutralized? What's the situation of the abductors?
I actually don't want to go that route before, because it will make you ask a lot of questions. If it had been, maybe
a gunfight
or something that made you release those boys, then apparently we should be seeing the news of 3, 5, 10, 20 abductors brought down by the military.
Yeah.
But now they release those children. Apparently, the best meaning you can read to that is either that maybe they saw the aggression of the military against them and they released those boys, or, which looks like the most possible option, is that the government paid ransom. That is because it is not possible. The reality is these guys kidnapped those boys to make money too. So how do you say they release them without any fight?
But the CNC, as earlier said, he won't pay any ransom.
Femi, we've seen governments in Nigeria say this over and over again. How possible?
Same as the government of Kaduna.
Of course, yes. Now, but in reality, okay, let me give you an instance. I think it was the kidnap case in Ekiti or thereabout, that the government came out to say, no, we did not pay any ransom. We did not do anything. And the parents of the people adopted said they paid money for those kids to be released.
Yeah.
Do you get? So we've seen government come. That's why I've always said it, that governments in Nigeria have not always been sincere. So if they come out, even if they actually did not pay any ransom, it will be difficult for people to believe them. And if you did not pay ransom, it was a gun bout, it was a firepower, whatever, then we should be talking about, okay, five, when military gets to bring down some, terrorists, even in the East, IPOB members, all those guys, you will see this also number of IPOB members brought down, this number of Boko Haram members brought down. But in the case of these abductors, we are not saying anything. Right. So it brings to the question, did the government really pay ransom, or what God cannot do does not exist?
All right, Femi, please permit me to chip this in. I would like your take on this. Emulate OT, stop pensions to ex-governors. Serap tells Tinubu, we know what the Abia State Government is doing at this time to repeal the law for paying governors and deputy governors pension. Your thoughts?
Femi, Evelyn, if I can see Governor Oti one-on-one, I think I should host him to an Amala date.
You think he's doing well?
No. Every other thing, I've not really, examined his government, but this singular law, I ask myself the question, what sense does it make that we pay people that ruin our economy pensions, not in a bit of what they earn? In some states, it is 100% of what they earn as a governor. Changing of vehicle every 2 years, building of residence in Abuja and any other place of choice. What sense does it make to us? A nation that cannot pay teachers well, a nation that cannot pay doctors well, a nation where journalists are not even earning well. That's the reality. The only thing journalists ask is just good spoken English and all. The only thing, in fact, in Nigeria is where you hear it is the reward of teachers are in heaven. But we are paying governors heavily. Some governors they are former governors in their state and they are now senators. Yeah. Earning 2 pensions at the time because many of them have nothing to do in the Senate. So for Governor Oti, he has done well. And I think other states these are things governors should borrow from themselves. Yeah. These are ideas they should borrow from themselves. We do not have the economy to be paying governors pension. We do not have that money. If we cannot pay teachers well, if we cannot pay pensioners, you see excuses now. I've always been asking this question and nobody has answered me. Have you ever seen a governor, an ex-governor, or a political appointee come out like their money has never been paid? They won't come out. All right. Because those money are paid as and when due.
Thank you so much, Ladeji. That will be all for Daily Independent newspaper.
Right. Quickly, just a few, headlines from the Daily Trust. 137 abducted Kaduna student rescued in Zamfara. Daily Trust our start. Riders, we are here to see our children, parents. We will make schools safe for learning. Tinubu, we hold you to account. Abbas Atiku, basic release of all captives. 9 killed, houses burnt in Plateau communal clash. Defense headquarters plans listing wanted persons' names, photos at embassies and airports. When I saw this news, Defense headquarters plans listing. They should be done already. What's with the planning? Why we set up Zamfara community guards, Governor Lawal, 4 die in Bochi Zakat collection stampede. One too many, if you ask me. Narcon raises ad fare by 1.9 million. Officers killing. Police Commission wants Imo Delta CPs sanctioned. Federal Secretariat rots away despite 8.1 billion naira new renovation.
All right, we move over to the Nation newspaper at this time. On the Nation newspaper, RMAFC begins review of revenue allocation formula. That's on page 3. Tinubu pledges safer schools after rescue of Kaduna pupils. DHQ to hand over 137 Kuriga school children today. Teacher dies in captivity. That's a sad one there. And OB leadership tussle deepens, LP crisis. FARC revenue agencies and 1.7 trillion naira shortfall talks. Federal government to revamp 42 youth centers in battle against unemployment. Top corner, front page of the Nation newspaper today. How to tackle national debt challenge by experts. Who gets Ondo APC governorship ticket? A big question. And President Oke's low-key birthday. Dangote votes 15 billion naira for food palliative. NASU, SANU, and strike. Prayers of the students have been answered, and they will definitely be back to the school.
Yeah.
That's all on the Nation newspaper this morning. Ladaji, in 30 seconds, if you can do this, the president has cancelled the celebration of his birthday for this year. Did that in 2022, did that in 2023, and this year also is saying let's offer prayers for Nigeria instead of, you know, the old celebration that comes with his birthday.
I love Nigerian politicians very well. They know how to throw things at us. So you see people clapping wherever they are now. This man understands, he knows what he's doing. And well, it is his birthday.
Yeah.
He can choose to do whatever he likes with it. But for me, it changed nothing. That doesn't bring food on the table of average Nigerians. It doesn't stop the money they spend on themselves. It doesn't stop that tomorrow he will still travel with his children for a meeting, and they will call it for education purpose. So I care less about that.
All right, a great place to end this session with you, Ladeji Alabi. Thank you so much, Alaji, for always doing this with us every Monday.
Since you've chosen to call me Alaji, maybe we can have a conversation after the show.
So you prefer Alaji to comrade?
Well, since you have called me that, you know what Alaji does? Let's see.
What does Alaji do?
Please, that will be
You have a lot of explanation to do after what we'll see next. Thank you for your time.
Always a pleasure.
We'll go on a break right now. We'll be back. You're welcome back, and the conversation is about the news that we heard the weekend that the Osun State Government proposing setting up a committee to see to the enforcement of people adhering to the laws on fake news, hate news, cyberbullying, hate speech rather, cyberbullying, and every, untoward act, especially on the social media space. Not just on social media space, everything that has to do with fake news and hate speech and cyberbullying. There was this release by the state through the Commissioner for Information. I tried to bring a part of it. We say Osun government set up action committee on cyber-crimes and cyberbullying. And they said, worried by a pervasive fake news operation in Osun State, the state government has set up a cybercrime action committee. That's what it's called, cybercrime action committee, to give effect to relevant provisions of the law with respect to cybercrime, cyberbullying, and deliberate online false news. The government, in a statement through the Commissioner of Information, Oluwamokola, stated that a step becomes necessary to sanitize the governance space and ensure that politicking and governance take place under an atmosphere of responsibility, decency, and honesty. And now, Alimi said the committee, domiciled at the Ministry of Justice, has members as journalists and legal practitioners, informing the public that the mandate is to ensure that fake news are nipped in the bud, no matter who the perpetrators are, quite a lengthy one. But the APC, Osun State, that's the main opposition party, have been reacting to that, and they called it, by the way, in a statement signed by the APC chairman, so-called Tajuddin Lawal, in a statement issued by the party's Director of Media Information, Chief Kola Olabisi, they said it is a way of the state government announcing the concluded arrangement to, stifle press freedom, stifle the opposition, stifle the people from speaking up their minds. That's why they are coming up with that arrangement. And they said the plan was described, that's the APC, as an afterthought aimed at planting fears in the mind of patriotic citizens who are bent on knowing a couple of things, especially, they now said, why Governor Adeleke chose to award over 50 billion naira public road contracts to cyber cafe operators. These are the awards. Fertilizer distributors and cronies with no technical and professional competence to execute road projects. To get, a hang of what we're talking about and to shed more light is Chief Kola Olabisi, who is the Director of Media and Information for the All Progressives Congress in Osun State. That's the main opposition party. And Chief joins us on phone right now. Chief, good morning.
Good morning, my brother.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, you are welcome.
Yeah, very quickly, the state government, through that release signed by Olabisi, stated the reason why they are coming up with this committee: cyberbullying, cybercrimes, misinformation, fake news, and that politicking and politics in Osun State should come under a very normal and civil atmosphere, and that nobody should misinform anybody, nobody should spread fake news and cause unnecessary tension. But your party, in which you are the Director of Media and Information for, that's the APC, has come out to say this is just an arrangement to stifle the opposition, and you have frowned at it. Now the question is, with the explanation of the state government, is it not sufficient enough? Does it matter why they are doing this at this time? Because they have already told you their reason, but you are frowning at it and say APC in Osun is not buying that. Why?
Yeah, thank you very much. And good morning to the people of Osun. Good morning to Nigeria. Good morning to the staff of Western Nigeria Television?
Western Spring Television.
Western Spring Television.
Thank you, sir.
First and foremost, let me just explain this. Ordinarily, we are not against what the government intends to do, if the reason is genuine. But if you know the antecedents of this government in power in the state, you know that they have a different motive for the invocation of this cyberbullying whatever committee. If you see what has been transparent in the state, or you have been witnessing what has been transparent in the state, fairness, rule of law, they are not in the dictionary of this government in power. You understand? So you see what happened to three Obas. I'm talking about the Yari of Iri. I'm talking about the Oba of Ikirun, Akiru of Ikirun, then the Owa of Igbajo. So they were the purported removal of they are purported removal of they are purported removal by the government in power, the Obas that were duly appointed, so who had completed all necessary things in accordance with the laws, the customs and all the guiding principles about the ownership institutions of their communities, respectively. So, and for the mere fact that the cases, there are cases about this ownership intrigue, ownership tussle in various courts in the land. Though the government still went ahead. So, to go and appoint other Obas, especially for Ikirun. So though it is still the matter is still in court, the court will still settle that. You understand? The war of Igbajo, so the court will still settle that. So if you study the antecedent of this administration, so we know that they are targeting the opposition. The word we used was they intend to muzzle the opposition. It is just an afterthought, right? Is it not funny that a government who's a chief propagandist is still being sought for by the DSS over a planting of a fake story, right, is deeming it necessary to come up with a such committee. Let's just leave that aside. How about the composition of the committee? Who are those who will be there? Are they not the yes men of the governor? Are they not compromised journalists? Are they not members of the PDP who are lawyers? So who will dance to the whims and caprices of the government in power? So if the intention of the government is genuine, if they are honest, so we don't have any problem with it. And we are saying that we shall, if it is done otherwise, we shall fight it with all the instrumentality of the law of the land.
Yeah.
Because Nigeria is a nation that is governed, by the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So anything done outside that is an illegality. So not that we are against it, but our apprehension is that they are targeting, the opposition. So they are trying to muzzle, the opposition. They don't want us to, governance. When you say government is not government is not a tea party. It is only what we discover is that any time that we ask questions about this administration, especially concerning finances, so they don't like it. You understand? They think that we hate them, not that we hate them. So government is about openness. You understand? And this government is not open. So that's the problem that they are having.
All right.
It's the government that is planning a kilometer of road for 2.5 billion naira, right? So they don't want the opposition to ask questions about it. When it is, even in the river area, this is an anathema. It is not done in anywhere in the part of the federation.
All right, Chief.
So
yes, because of the want of time, you've stated why the APC are having issues with these. To say you are not having issues with either the state want to deal with cybercrime or hate speech or fake news. Your issue, if I'm right, is that you don't trust the PDP government in Osun's antecedents. Is that right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. And so you made mention of some things, and you even criticized just now the setting up of the committee of lawyers or journalists. You said some of them are tainted and they are yes men of the governor. Who are you referring to?
You want me to mention names?
Yes, please, if you can.
I suppose you are a journalist. You are a journalist. A journalist, which I'm a journalist too.
Yeah.
And I want to believe that you are taught, when you are doing your journalism, that you don't disclose your source of information. You understand? So we have a noses, we have a mouth, and we have eyes.
All right.
And we have been living in this state.
Yeah.
We know the journalists that are pliable.
Yeah.
We know the legal practitioners that are pliable.
Yeah.
So we know all manner of people that are pliable. So that
right.
they are ready to do the wish of this government.
All right,
for
Chief.
any pot of soup.
All right, Chief. By the way, I reckon that this is not journalist or journalism 101 class. Yeah, I understand. And then you are asking if actually we're, trained journalists. Yes, we are certified as well. But the thing is, I'm not asking you for your source of information. You spoke about individuals. You are the one who said it, that the composition has issues because of who they are. And these are the people I'm asking you for. I'm not asking you for your sources as well, which I'm still.
I am saying they are likely. They are likely to, those who are likely to make, the composition of the committee. That's what I'm saying. Okay. So we have noticed that that is it.
Okay, all right. That means you're speculating. You don't even know them yet. But, let's move on from this. You talked about
Can they be outside, the confine of the People's Democratic Party?
All right, we wait
They
to
cannot
see.
be. They have to.
Right.
There is among the pliable ones among them that they will have to appoint.
All right.
That's what I'm saying. Who are willing to do the bidding of the government.
You talked about the 50 billion.
For the detriment of the opposition.
All right. You talked about the 50 billion public road contracts to cyber cafe operators, fertilizer distributors, and cronies with no technical and professional competence to execute road projects. You even said, that whoever is in charge should be accountable and transparent, as the state resources is spending, that the government is spending, is a common patrimony of all the people of the state. And you went further to say it defies logic that a governor who has been shielding from arrest is chief propagandist who is being wanted by the DSS for allegedly planting the fake news about the son of the Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, Mr. Femi Ohiolei, is the one touting to curb cyberbullying. So is this, one will naturally say this is just pure politics, or am I wrong?
No, can you come again? Can you repeat the question?
Yes. With all these things that you have stated, and you said the governor is using his office to shield his chief propagandist.
We stand by that.
You have said it earlier before. Is this really about the state, or is it just pure politics?
Is it about the state or the politics?
Yeah.
I don't understand the question.
Okay, maybe I should refrain. You have talked about some of the things that you said the governor has done, awarding, in your words, contract to cronies, fertilizer companies with no experience. You went further to say this is government and the governor that is chief propagandist, that the governor is shielding him, after allegedly maligning Mr. Femi Ohiolei. I'm not saying this concern of the APC, is it about the state, or is it just a power tussle and just pure politics?
Well, the state belongs to all of us. You understand? So I don't know what you mean, whether we are talking politics or it is not a reality. I want to believe that you live in this state, and it is a statement of fact that the chief propagandist of the governor has been invited by the DSS in Abuja, and he has gone to court in order to stop this. So it's not to all and sundry. So in the state. So if you say we are talking politics, if it does not happen, you can say we are talking politics. But it is a statement of fact that the chief propagandist, the spokesman of the governor, has been invited to Abuja by the DSS to come and clear the allegation of sponsoring a fake news about the son of immediate past governor of the state, Femi Ohiolei, whose father is now the current minister of marine and blue economy. You understand? So it is not. It's not about politics. It's about reality.
All right, Chief. Now, you have mentioned earlier that you are not against this committee set up by the government, that you are not against it. But then one would want to say, why not allow this committee to come up and see what they have up their sleeves before you come out to talk ill of the committee? It's like you preempting what is not.
Do we have the power as the opposition to tell, tell the government of the day? We can only tell them. We cannot enforce it. You understand? We can't ask them not to do what they want to do. But it should be on record that we are making our own statements. You understand?
But
and
you
we have
said,
put on record. We have put on record that we are going to any excesses that arise, Chief, from this latest development. So it's going to be confronted frontally with the instrumentality of the law of the land.
Okay, so now if you look at the statement released by Kola Olabisi, who is the Commissioner for Information and Public Enlightenment in this particular administration. It says, yeah, part of the statement, it says that the increasing wave of fake news negatively affects both the government and the opposition, and that it is high time all operators are brought within the compass of the law in the exercise of their rights as guaranteed by the Constitution. This means the government also knows that sometimes the opposition are at the receiving end, because you are also, this particular statement also brings you in. It's like them watching out for you too. Don't you think it's just saying that you allow the government do what they want to do, and when they kind of move away from what they were set up to do, then you can come out to speak against them?
I want to believe that I've been speaking English. You understand? So which is explanatory enough, right? What I said that not that we are opposed to it,
yes,
but the manner. If you see the antecedents of this government, you saw what happened there in Lere. You saw what happened, in the College of Education in Ila. So you saw how this government has been behaving as a drunken bull in the China shop. You understand? So the rule of law is not in their dictionary. That is what I'm saying. So as it was, it will be. You understand, with this, what they want to do. That's what you are talking about. Nothing can change. So they want to use, this cyber, whatever.
Chief Olabisi, are you still with us? All right, connection acting up there, but we'll definitely reconnect with Chief Olabisi for him to finish his thoughts. Speaking on the committee set up by the Osun State.
All right.
Chief Olabisi, are you still with us?
But what is their motive? Their motive is not genuine. Their intention is not interest.
All right.
All right. That's we'll try.
Issues with the network.
Who's that right? Really?
Chief Olabisi, are you still with us here?
Your opposition, major opposition party in the state, APC, that.
Chief, we kind of lost you at some point.
To just stop, this cyber whatever we are talking about. So that is it. It's suspect. There's something fishy. You understand?
But you do not know the composition of the committee yet.
Do we have to wait until our head is removed from our head is removed from our neck before we can talk? No. That is it.
All right.
They are going to use a pliable journalist. They are going to use a pliable legal practitioners in order to carry out their devilish intention. So that is it. So we don't have a confidence in them.
All right. Chief Olabisi, you do not know the composition of the committee yet. Like you said, you're not against this particular setup, but it's just that you believe that the composition of the committee will be partisan, and it will stifle opposition. But then to ask you, what do you think would be a perfect composition of this committee, the makeup that you can advise the government, probably maybe a bit of the opposition members, bit of journalists, legal team? I just want to know what your own makeup
would be
acceptable to the opposition.
Well, based on what the information rolled out by the State Commissioner for Information, Chief Kola Olabisi, that the composition will be made up of journalists and legal practitioners. So I want to believe, right, that civil rights activists, you understand, they ought to have been there now. They should be there. Those who are not partisan should be there. Retired, we have the retired justices in the state, you understand, who can carry out, the task without fear of favor. Whether they will not, whether one is a government in power or somebody is an opposition, you understand. But when you just set up, a committee whereby the pliable journalists and pliable legal practitioners are made up of the body. Something is fishy about it.
All right.
And just the way I said, based on the antecedents of this government, so we don't have confidence in them.
All right, Chief. As we went down on this part, we've had it very clearly, by the way, but many will say, yes, you have a right to your concern and to anticipate, due to what you have said, that maybe the composition of the committee will never be people, that we really do the bidding of the state. Instead, there might be yes men of the governor. One wants to say, isn't that just being paranoid? Why don't you wait for them? You have suggested people that should be there, eminent judges, legal practitioners, people of conscience. But the committee is meant to meet today. Maybe that's where we'll find out. Instead, that's why I say, isn't that the APC just being paranoid? And I quote the last paragraph of, a paragraph of that released by the APC. You said, we will continue to expose him and other members of his family who are complicit in the shoddy road and borrowed contracts in the state. We do everything to tame him from installing an August Pinochet regime in Osun State. What do you mean by that, August Pinochet?
Let me first of all correct you. The word paranoia, is a very big word for you to use. That somebody you are interviewing is paranoid.
I'm talking about the APC.
No. When you say somebody paranoia, you know the meaning of paranoia?
Yeah.
That is a very, very no. It makes that word you use makes one to suggest that you are taking side. That is it. How can you say somebody is a paranoid?
Chief,
how can I be paranoid?
I'm talking about
it's not a common patrimony of all and sundry.
You speak for the APC. I'm talking about the APC.
No.
I'm not speaking to your personality.
I'm a journalist too. Yes. I cannot use such a word, for somebody I'm interviewing. Okay. That somebody is a paranoid. It means you are doing the bidding of somebody.
I am not. That's why we have you here to speak on this matter.
Why should you say I'm paranoid? You shouldn't say I'm paranoid. Why should you say that?
All right, Chief.
You withdraw it before I answer any question. Why should you say I'm paranoid?
Maybe
you have to refute the question.
Maybe I should explain what I mean.
The meaning of any word spoken at any particular time is particular point in time is not total. You know that.
If I may, Chief, we are not speaking to your personality here. We are speaking to the position of the APC in which you speak for. That you are the director of information and media.
But I'm a chieftain of the APC.
I'm not saying
logically you are referring to those who are the members and chieftains of the APC.
Chief.
Because APC itself is a lifeless. Where a body is lifeless.
All right,
you understand?
Chief, what I'm saying is this.
PDP is lifeless.
You are envisaging that nothing good will come out of this committee because of the composition. I am now saying that in as much the committee has not even been unveiled, you don't know them.
I'm surprised that you are repeating that. I told you that based on the antecedent of this government.
But it's all right.
So we emphasize that nothing good can come from them. Based on the antecedent. I cited examples of what happened in Ire, what happened in College of Education.
All right.
What they call the place? That's the La. Then I told you about what happened to the Owa of Ibajo. Okay. I told you what happened about the Akino of Ikino. I told you what happened about Ari of Iri.
All right.
So what reference again do you need from me?
It's all right. We appreciate your time, Chief, for your time and your take today on the program. Chief Kola Olabisi is the Director of Media and Information of the All Progressives Congress in Osun State. Thank you once again, Chief.
The pleasure is mine.
All right. Thank you, sir. Yeah, the program will continue right now. All we do here is to ask the question, and it is about fact, it's about the third opinion and angle. We take this break and we return. We speak to other stakeholders on this matter as well. Stay with us.
Welcome back to the conversation on Morning Spring, and right here we are still on the matter of the Osun State Government starting up an action committee against cyberbullying and cyber crimes. The first leg of the conversation was with an APC chieftain, Chief Kola Olabisi. Right now, we will be hearing from the ruling party, a media aide to Governor Ademola Adeleke is right here in the studio. Shola is with us. Thank you so much for joining us.
Morning, and thank you for having me. Good morning.
All right, so just talk to us. This action committee against cyberbullying, cybercrime, what's it all about? Why do we need it at this time? Just let us know.
Okay, thank you very much. So I listened, while I was off air, I listened to Chief Kola Olabisi, and I think that I need to say that, the last time I was there, we were talking about the federal government wanting to regulate social media, and what I said then was we need to do the exact definition of the word regulation, so we are clear on the intention, right? So it's okay to want to be clear, on what the intention is. What I found out then was the word regulation, which could mean what happened in the days that former President Buhari banned Twitter for some months. So what I said then was, let us know the exact meaning of the word regulation. But in this case, Osun State Government has no power to regulate the social media, right? And that's why the action committee becomes necessary. What the committee simply does is to monitor what goes on there on social media, right? And then it is not only about the government. That's what we need to establish. It's about the people of Osun State. You can, if as a person, you feel that someone has maligned you on social media, you can approach the committee, right? Because a number of people have been, maligned on social media, failed to approach the police or the court. But so the committee will sit there to receive such requests. So it's not only about government officials, it's not only about political parties, it's not only about political leaders. As an individual, you can approach the committee. Now, what we need to establish is this is not because you see APC, when they want to defend or accuse the way they do it, what they do is they preempt. For instance, as I'm speaking to you now, the members of that committee has not been made public. And then somebody said that he knows who the committee members are. How do you come to that conclusion? I need to establish the fact that that committee is an offshoot of a unit in the Ministry of Justice. We now have a cybercrime unit in the Ministry of Justice that the governor will be unveiling later, maybe today. We have a cybercrime unit in the Ministry of Justice who will now receive all those requests, and then we work on it through their Department of Public Prosecution. You understand? So it's not about politicians. If we say the Ministry of Justice is not politicians that comprise that, it's not full of politicians, it's full of lawyers and members of the public service who are doing their own job. So what are we talking about exactly? We are not saying don't talk, we're saying don't lie.
So, Shola, now, what the APC, their grounds against this particular committee is the fact that they are not certain, they do not trust, rather that's the word, they do not trust that the composition of this committee will be apolitical. They believe that the governor is going to put his, according to Chief Kola Olabisi, is yes man in that particular committee, and it will be a committee set up to primarily stifle the voice of the opposition. Don't you think their fears are valid?
Evelyn, I don't think it's possible for you to be arrested if you don't say something that is not true. If you have a proof to substantiate your claim and you are invited to be questioned, what you're supposed to do is to bring the proof, right? But in a situation where somebody just sits in the corner of their room and say stuff, that's what we're trying to control. You don't just come and say, oh, this person has, gotten maybe a contract of 100 billion because he's so to the governor. It's ridiculous, and that's what we're trying to control, and that's what has been happening lately.
So there must be, you must bring the evidence. You must
be able to prove whatever it is that you're saying. That's the point. We're not saying don't talk, but be responsible for what you say. Do not lie to the people. Do not misinform the people. That's what we're trying to say.
How about people that think this is coming on the heels of the criticism of the government, given according to the APC and some other persons who are not APC, saying contracts have been given to cronies of their delegates, cronies of the government. There were allegations of the deputy speaker being awarded contracts, in multiple places. And people are raising this concern. And the state government, the governor, is becoming uncomfortable about this, either right or wrong. And that's why they are coming, and the example you made now, made an example of people touting that, cronies, the way they say it, of the government or the people in power, the ones being given, contract. Is it not that the Osun State government is becoming wary and uncomfortable of those allegations that they have come up with this? Because knowing well that there are extant laws about cybercrime is not new.
It's not new, of course.
So what's the committee needed for? If somebody has said something and you have found it uncomfortable, approach the courts, let the police prosecute and find out what will be the functionality or the function of the committee. Do they have the power of arrest? Who are they?
So, one of the things I said before I came here was that I was not going to preempt the terms of reference, of the committee, since it's not been made public yet. But what I can say about this is, when we talk about the composition of the committee, for instance, if the federal government is going to do anything today, it's going to be constituted by members of the ruling party who are now government officials. So when what we need to separate is politics and governance, because the moment you become appointed or elected into a government position, you are no longer for the party, but for the people. So it's about government officials. And I mentioned something earlier that the unit, a cybercrime unit, exists in the Ministry of Justice, which is new, right? So we make it public. And then what it means is individuals who cannot afford the lawyers, who cannot afford to pay lawyers, can approach the ministry, can approach the committee, since it's a public, it's a public service. That's why it's called the Department of Public Prosecution, because you can approach them, because they are government lawyers who would represent you in your cases. Because it's not about government officials only, it's about the people.
That's what I'm saying,
can approach it.
If there is a unit, cybercrime unit, in which you say is new,
right,
why don't you allow them to handle this? Why need a committee again?
The committee, like I said in the beginning,
because that's what many persons are finding now.
The major task of the committee, because of course, it is not only people that are being maligned. Right. In the bid to do politics, a number of people say stuff. So the question is, when people say stuff, for instance, about the governor, for instance, is it possible? I mean, the governor himself, I'm not sure has plenty number of hours to spend on Twitter or Facebook. So the committee becomes the responsible team to monitor what is said about the government. About the government. The government is everybody that is in it.
So the committee is working for the government.
The committee is working for the government, but the people can approach the committee as well. That, look, I feel I've been maligned and I need help.
Shola, in clear conscience, is this committee necessary?
I think it is. Remember when I came here and we're talking about the federal government, what I said was there should be monitoring. And then I said then that maybe we should not create, because we can have them as a subsection of security operatives or agencies. But in the case of Osun State, for instance, Osun does not hold Nigerian police force. The only security apparatus that exists in Osun that Osun State government seems to be in control is the Amotekun. And you understand the convention and Amotekun. The APC even already said that the government would use Amotekun to witch hunt. But let me say this. You see, before this government came, I remember clearly there was a young man in Ejigbo who had said something years back about the former governor Itola. He was prosecuted. So they didn't say he was a member of the PDP. He said something that was wrong and he was prosecuted for it. If anybody says something that is wrong and they are being prosecuted for it, I don't see the problem.
Now, while we wait for the time of reference, maybe after today's meeting, as called by the governor now, but we can have an elaborate talk on it. But while we wait for that, do you think, if you contextualize in Osun State, there's some challenges that are particular to the country, there are some that are particular to different states. Do we have a problem of fake news, hate speech, cyberbullying in Osun? Is it really a problem?
We didn't used to have, right? We didn't used to have.
Do we now?
Osun used to be a liberal state. A number of incidents has happened in the last couple of weeks, a month rather, that has made me begin to think that the political atmosphere in Osun is beginning to change, right? I read there was someone who said last week that he was referring to the organization that is one-sided, and that NBC should sanction, your organization. That was because he was listening to a program, and he is a member of the opposition party. He was listening to a program, and the callers are not on the side of the opposition party. Now, the question that poses to me is Rev FM, for instance, responsible for what the callers say? You don't. It's not like you were the ones who would determine, who calls in. And then that same person yesterday now said, "Oh, we're now beginning to see the result of having vagabonds in power in the state." I mean, these are people. That particular person used to be a local government official. He was elected in the last election, local government that was cancelled by the court. Now, these are people that other young people look up to, and they call themselves leaders. And when people like that begin to say stuff, what it means is people underneath them can say a lot of other things, and they will begin to defend being their political stooge or stooge rather. They'll begin to defend them. So, Osun political atmosphere is now beginning to change. A lot of younger persons are now on social media saying a lot of stuff that they even know nothing about. I remembered clearly when the last election was held, the young man was talking to me and said, "Oh, I just wish that the former governor had won again because I would have been in his media team." He said, "After all, we'll not be the one writing it. Our own is to share." That kind of a person will share anything that is said to them. They don't care if it's true or not.
Just before Evelyn come up now, so with what you're saying and with the concerns of some persons, APC aside, is it not right to say this is politically motivated? And what I mean by that is the kind of things being churned out based on political discourse you think is not right. I'm talking about the government. And so you need to set up people that will defend the government. Is that right?
Defend the government? No.
Because you said this committee...
This is not about defending the government.
You said this committee is to see, is to monitor, is to bring to fore things that are not right, that are not true. People are saying so when the governor will not monitor Twitter. They won't monitor Instagram.
When they do that, then the cybercrime unit within the Ministry of Justice is notified to act legally.
Yeah, Evelyn.
All right. Now, Shola, when you came in, you made a statement that the officials that will be put into this committee, nominated, elected or selected, that's the word, into this committee, may have been partisan before, but because they are now working for government, now they are working for government. They are not going to do politics no more. They are just going to be working for the government. But we know that in this part of the world, that cannot be totally erased. We still know where the loyalty will tilt towards to, even though they are working for the government. So how do you feel the government can let the opposition and the entirety of the people should know that this is not just a committee set up by the PDP, for the PDP, working for the PDP, not for the government?
Evelyn, you see, I'm going to give you an instance, and I would maybe base my response on that instance. When the former governor was on seat, I was an ardent critic, of the former governor. I wasn't concerned about a number of things. My major concern then was roads, and I took it upon myself to ensure that I was monitoring a number of roads, especially within Osogbo.
All right.
And then somebody, one of the appointees then sent his aide, to approach me and said that we are not asking you we're not asking you to lie for us.
Okay.
We are asking you to keep quiet, and we will pay you for that. Right? Now, if I was carried away, I don't know the amount they were going to offer me.
Okay.
I rejected. And if I was carried away by that, and I got the money, it won't take too long for them to say, okay, go and say this. Right? And whatever I am asked to say, I will say, because he will pays the piper, dictates the tune. Now, so that sets the clear conversation. The basis of this is people are beginning to say what is wrong. And the government needs to control it, either we like it or not. When people say that...
Control in what form?
I mentioned the word monitor. That's what I mean by control. It's not like government will say don't talk. But be responsible with what you say.
All right, now, Shola, if a member of the PDP or a member of Governor Ademola's cabinet says something that is wrong, and someone else probably, the citizen or a resident rather, or an opposition member comes to the committee, approaches the committee and says, this person said something that is not true, and brings out the evidence and said, this thing this person says is not true, putting in mind that this particular individual is a member of Governor Ademola's cabinet or a member of the People's Democratic Party. Will the committee take it up the same way it will take up, it will take up
conflict of interest?
You are already judging the committee before you.
No, we are not.
we're just asking questions.
We don't see. That's
and these are the concerns of people out there.
That's now an assumption that if you are a member of the PDP and you say stuff, you can't be prosecuted. That's not true.
No, that's not what she's asking. She's asking, will that committee
answer? You see, we can't judge a book that we have not even read.
So we have to wait.
The committee is yet to start the work, and then we now begin to assume that they would not do what is right.
No, we just want to know if the same hammer of law that will fall on the opposition who is found wanting when it comes to cyberbullying will also be, for someone who is in Governor Ademola's cabinet or a member of his party who also does the same thing that person did.
Why wouldn't they?
All right.
If I were to head the committee, I will.
No, now how do we draw the line between free speech and cyberbullying?
You know what we call there's something I've been emphasizing on.
And who draws that line?
There's something I've been emphasizing on.
Yeah.
Right. And it's the fact that we are saying don't misinform the people. Don't lie. If you don't lie, you can't be prosecuted for what you said that is true, that you have proof of.
Okay.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
This committee, I have many questions I want to ask, but I feel let the committee, because I would love to ask, would they have the power of arrest? Would they have prosecutory power?
It's a committee. They can't arrest.
But let the meeting be.
They are not security operatives.
Yeah. So who are they exactly? That's my question.
Statement. Remember I said to you that it's an offshoot of a cybercrime unit within the Ministry of Justice. These are lawyers, right? So and the statement that we released earlier had said it's a composition of lawyers and journalists. So it's not like we're bringing people to come out with.
Chief Kola Olabisi said members of CSO should also be, in that particular committee.
Our statement was clear about who will be members of the committee. That's a recommendation.
Yeah.
And I mean, they're right to make recommendations.
Let's end this way. In that statement from Oluwamokola Kwalimi, the Commissioner for Information and Public Enlightenment, he said that the step becomes necessary to sanitize the governance space and ensure that politique and governance take place under an atmosphere of responsibility, decency, and honesty. To me, it sounds like you are narrowing it down to governance and politics. This is your statement now. Yeah. This is a statement of
the word narrowing is your choice of word.
Yeah.
Not in the statement.
This is what we have here.
Now, the point is...
Sorry, Shola, so that you answer together. I'm saying this, knowing fully well, that committee was something about cybercrime, cyberbullying.
Yeah.
And we're talking about cybercrime. Will fraudsters, Yahoo boys, G-boys, would they be captured under this same scope as well?
Terms of reference.
Knowing fully well that you are talking about governance and politicking.
Terms of reference.
Or if someone speaks against my personality,
that's what I started with.
If I approach the committee, will I be given
the right to approach the committee? Why not?
All right. Many questions loading, really. But what Osun people wants to know, sorry, what we will. What the Osun people wants to know is either the Osun State Government led by Governor Ademola Adeleke wants to just control the narrative in Osun State and are putting up this committee to work for it.
No, it's not about controlling.
Yes or no?
That's a no.
That's a no. All right. Oh, interesting coming days. I mean, the interesting days. I mean, coming days will be very interesting. I will stay on this matter to speak to it because Osun State is the state of the living spring. Everyone has right.
But then those rights should be within the confines of the law. Thank you, Shola.
Thank you very much for
Our
having me.
sincere appreciation to you, Shola, for coming on board today.
always my
And we
pleasure.
wish you a very productive day and week ahead.
You too. Thank you very much.
All right, people, thank you for being a part of our world on Morning Spring, the very first edition for this week. It has been an insightful conversation today talking about cyberbullying and cybercrime. And this is a call to everyone out there that, yes, we know everyone is like a warrior behind the keypad. But when you get those keypads, please know what you type. If you do not have evidence as to some narrative, ensure that you withdraw. Do not say what you do not know. My name is Evelyn Ohiolei. You can watch the recap of this particular edition on our YouTube channel at Western Spring Television. Connect with us on Instagram, Facebook, and X at Western Spring Television. And ensure to stay tuned for Spring Trends coming right after this.
Right, Femi Ojo is my name. Do have for yourself a very, very lovely day ahead. God bless Nigeria. Bye-bye.